Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be just a very simple chit chat video. It's probably not going to be very long just because there really is not much to talk about in the situation, just because the episode itself was very bland. And I know that I told you guys that I probably most likely was not going to watch the series, but I personally am interested in watching it now because I'm hoping that in this series we're going to finally get the receipts from Jeffrey about what has been said against James. And you guys know that was a very big thing that I was like, what the fuck about with Dramageddon Part 2. Full disclosure before I go any further with this video, I do not support Jeffree Star. I don't watch his videos, I don't buy his products, I have in the past, but I've just kind of like grown out of him as a person, and my moral compass started working again, thank God. And I don't like what he's about. I don't think he's a good person just based off of what I've seen in his day-to-day interactions and how nasty he can be and how shady he can be towards people who are like not even bothered about him. And I know that I'm going to be ripped apart by his stands for saying the things that I've been saying, but I really just don't give a fuck, like a single solitary fuck. I just don't. I respect people's opinions and viewpoints, so I would hope that those same people can, you know, give me that same option or that same courtesy. I would love that, but I know that that's not the case, especially when it comes to Jeffree Star. You either love him and you're up his asshole and you can taste what he had for breakfast yesterday, or you're against him and you're like the fucking demon sent from the 7th realm of fucking hell come to destroy this man. Like, you're a hater, you're jealous of him, like you're the ultimate terrible person. It's tiring. In any case, I believe that despite the fact that I don't support Jeffree or buy his products or whatever the case may be, despite all those things, I feel like I am capable of being an adult, number one, and sitting down and giving my viewpoints on a series that he is obviously the star, pun intended, of. So I'm just gonna sit here and talk about the series and my viewpoints of it, give you guys, you know, what I think is gonna happen. I want to hear what you guys think is gonna happen, how you felt about it down in the comment section below. Please try to be as respectful as possible. I know how hard it is to be respectful to people who don't like people talking shit about someone that they're like obsessed with, and I will never understand the thought process of, I need to defend this person who doesn't even know I exist, so I'm gonna go after someone and try to destroy them as much as I possibly can because they don't like this person who doesn't know I exist. I don't know what you get from that. I don't understand the thought process of a stan. I just don't, and maybe I never will. But I would hope that even if you do support Jeffree and you're a hardcore supporter of his, that you can have open and honest conversations, adult conversations with someone who perhaps doesn't, and maybe you'll learn something new from each other. I love when that happens in my comment section. So let's go ahead and just jump into this video, shall we? Because I feel like this intro was like way too long. Also, full disclosure, my daughter is next to me in her little play corner playing with her toys. So you may hear some noises and weird voices and things or whatever. She is talking, she's very opinionated. I mean, she is her mother's daughter. I'm not gonna silence her. She's allowed to have her opinion and spill her own tea. So you know what, baby? If you feel so compelled to do so, dime todo. I wanna know your tea too, okay, mama? Great. So the first episode of the docuseries was released on Tuesday of this week. So a few days ago. It is currently now Friday of the same week. I was left feeling very underwhelmed at the end of it. Like, I felt like after I watched the entire video, I felt like I wasted like an hour of my time. The episode kicks off right away with kind of like a quick recap of Dramageddon Part 1, which is one of those clips where I felt like it wasn't necessary, because I feel like the first docuseries kind of covered that topic enough to the point where everyone was kind of like, okay, well, he's kind of like past it, it's over with. I didn't feel like there was any reason to bring up Dramageddon Part 1. he does go on later on in the video to talk about how, you know, people always assume that those friendships between him and the rest of the four that were involved in that situation, he goes on to talk about how Jeffrey, being he, people like to assume that those friendships were fake or just for show or whatever. And he says something along the lines of, you know, but they weren't. They were very, very real. They were very real friendships and relationships that I had these people. And that's what made this whole thing hurt so much. And I get that. That does suck. I can understand that. I just feel like Dramageddon Part 1 is over with, and it's been over with for a while. I mean, everyone is pretty much past it. I mean, Jeffrey is thriving. His business is thriving. Despite the fact that I don't like him, I'm not going to sit here and be a dumbass and be like, oh, he's failing. No. The man and his company, they're both fucking thriving. They're doing very, very well. But so is Manny. His business is coming back up and doing very well. Nikita's off doing whatever the hell she's doing with her face palette and things like that. Gabriel's moved on. Laura's off doing whatever the hell she's doing right now. And everyone's kind of just past it. So to bring it up again was just kind of like, ugh. One of the complaints I'd seen about episode 1 was the fact that people were really annoyed with Shane because he kept making self-deprecating comments about himself. Now, I don't feel like I'm the right person to be like, you can't do that, because I do it. Let's be honest. We are all our own worst critics. We all think very, very critically of ourselves. And oftentimes, especially in my situation, we think so critically of ourselves that we talk down about ourselves because it feels like that's the right thing to do. Especially in my case, I feel like it's the right thing to do because I'm so used to it happening to me by my ex. And it wouldn't just be me talking down about myself, it'd be him telling me nasty shit about me. But it gets to the point where I am now, where I feel like if I say something nasty about myself, I'm taking the power away from someone else to say those things about me, because now I'm just saying it before anyone else can say it. You know what I mean? So it's a very toxic mindset to have. I know, I'm working on it, trust me. As a matter of fact, the guy that I'm with right now gets so upset with me whenever I say anything remotely nasty about myself. So yeah, I feel like Shane and I both need to work on being kinder to ourselves. I feel like a lot of people have that same issue as well. So I don't feel like I'm the right person to sit here and be like, well, Shane needs to stop talking about himself like that. But because I'm doing the exact same thing. So I'm not the right person for that. But that was one of the main complaints I had seen from other people who watched the series. They said it was very annoying to listen to, but trust me, nothing is more annoying than having that thought process of you are a shitty person, or you're a fat person, you're an ugly person, constantly running in your head. And that's all you can think about. And it's a daily struggle for people like me and him. So trust me, we don't like it either, but it feels normal to do almost, which is not good, but we're working on it. At least I am. Going back to Dramageddon Part 1, we hear Shane ask about Gabriel Zamora and why he was on good terms with Jeffrey. Jeffrey says, well, he came to me personally, man to man, and talked to me and apologized for everything, and that's that. And that's that. We'll admit there was one moment during the episode where I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of cute. But I'm fairly certain it had everything to do with the music, because when people create movies or TV shows or whatever, what have you, even things like this, like docuseries for YouTube, people will use certain like background music to influence an emotion or to provoke an emotion in you to feel during that scene. And during the scene when Jeffrey first brings Shane out at the Morphe store opening, and there's that really like sad emotional music in the, not sad, but like inspiring emotional music in the background playing, I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cute. Because if you're a follower of Shane, or you have been for any length of time, you guys know that he has not done an event like that in a long time. As a matter of fact, that was the reason why last summer when TanaCon was supposed to happen, it was a huge deal that he was co-signing it and headlining it, because he had not done anything like that in years. So it's kind of a big deal that he was doing things like that, or was even open to doing things like TanaCon, and we all know how that ended. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the only reason I felt that like, oh, that's so sweet, you know, moment in that scene was because of the music, because I'm very influenced by music, especially when I'm watching something. I think we all are. That was basically just the gist of episode 1. We touched on some tea, not all tea. Obviously, he's got to keep you interested, which is why they put certain clips in the trailer of certain things being addressed in further and later episodes. So the tea's coming, and I feel like that's the reason why everyone's kind of been like waiting for the other shoe to drop, because for weeks now people have been saying, I feel like Dramageddon part 4, whatever part we're on now, is coming. People are waiting to see what happens in the later episodes. People are expecting certain things from the series. I myself am hoping that Jeffree will finally release receipts to prove what he had claimed about James to be true, because as you guys know, Jeffree had made claims about James being a predator and things like that, which is not very good to do. And everyone, including myself, was like, well, do you have any like evidence or receipts to back that claim up? Because that's a pretty serious claim to make about someone without any proof. But for months, like, no one talked about Dramageddon Part 2. It kind of just went into the background and people kind of forgot about it. And I was just like, how the fuck is this man, Jeffree Star, getting away with saying things like that with no proof to back it up? Especially when in this community, especially, we've eviscerated and publicly called out other people for doing the exact same thing. No matter who it is doing the accusing with no proof, we should all approach it the exact same way, regardless of who is the one doing the calling out. You know what I mean? Like, it just keep the same energy. And that's what I've been trying to say for the longest time about the situation, is that just because it's Jeffree Star, he was able to just kind of like put it to the back burner and people forgot about it and no one else said anything about it. But now I'm just like, no. So now I'm hoping and expecting this situation to be addressed in the series. As we all know, the Dolan twins and Shane were in a picture recently that were released on Twitter, and that fueled speculation about them being involved in this series as well. And that's a big deal because, as we all know, the Dolan twins were actually named in Dramageddon Part 2 as two people who were, I guess, affected allegedly by James Charles's alleged predatory behavior. So I am very interested in seeing what's going to come of this, if anything does come of this. I feel like if this becomes a bait and switch, like I said earlier, and they only just put these clips in to get interest in the series as a whole and they don't deliver, I feel like a lot of people will be very upset. Again, he made all these claims about James Charles, you know, both publicly and in private to different people, and those text messages were shown to the world by James. He says all these things about James with no proof, and that's not okay. So part of me believes that Jeffree is smart enough to not say things like that without proof, but the fact of the matter is, as of right now, he did, and that's not okay. Now, I will say this, if Jeffree does come with the receipts and there is nothing sketchy about them, they're irrefutable, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, it's there, it's plain as day, James Charles will have a lot of explaining to do, and I feel like that would jumpstart and kickstart Dramageddon Part 5. We just don't know. We don't know James personally, we don't know Jeffree personally, we don't know any of these people personally. So I guess we have to wait and see what's going to happen in the series and what is told. I will be watching. Obviously, a lot of other people are going to be watching as well with bated breath to see what drama comes up next. I'm thinking that they're doing this by like a timeline, like chronological order. So we may not see that situation pop up until like episode 3 or 4. Who knows? But I will be watching, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will be too. So what do you guys think about the situation? Leave your comments, viewpoints down below. Once again, please try to be as respectful as humanly possible. Everyone has different opinions and viewpoints, and everyone is welcome to all those viewpoints and opinions. We all have our right to speak our mind. Please do so respectfully. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys so much.